We have a motion by Ms. Arati. Do we have a second to that motion?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Capola. So if it's all right with you, Ms. Arati, we'll do the consent agenda without those two items. Do we have a motion on all of the consent agenda items except the two requests by Committeewoman Arati?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Arati, seconded by Mr. Faramasca. On roll call, Mr. Faramasca.
Yes.
Mr. Schleifer.
Aye.
Ms. Arati.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Yes.
And Mr. Sheridan.
Aye.
Now we have a request to have a second vote on Environmental Commission Alternate 1, and that's the position that Daniel Mahalko resigned from, and that nominee is Thomas Quirk. So we have the motion made by Committeewoman Arati, seconded by Mr. Capola. You have
go ahead.
second vote, that's it. Okay. Okay.
Go ahead.
Any
I'd like
comments?
to make a nomination.
You want to make a nomination? All right.
I would like to make a nomination for Len Fariello. Len Fariello is by far the best resource we have in town on the environment and open space. And with this position becoming open, I'd like to nominate Len Fariello for the position on the the Environmental Commission.
Okay, based on Committeewoman Arati's motion, it was seconded by Mr. Capola. We'll take a vote at this time. Mr. Faramasca.
No.
Mr. Schleifer.
No.
Ms. Arati.
Yes.
Mr. Capola.
Yes.
And Mr. Sheridan.
No.
Motion is defeated. And Ms. Arati, what was the second one
Okay.
now?
The second one is there's a position on the Open Space Advisory Committee, something that Len Fariello was instrumental in formalizing way back when in 2000. And I think that I would like to nominate Len Fariello for the open position on the Open Space Advisory Committee.
Okay, we have that motion made by Committeewoman Arati and was seconded by Mr. Capola. And we'll take a vote on the nomination for Leonard Fariello. On the motion and the vote, Mr. Faramasca.
No.
Mr. Schleifer.
No.
Ms. Arati.
Yes.
Mr. Capola.
Yes.
And Mr. Sheridan.
No.
Motion is defeated.
That's fair.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as we proceed now with the second portion of the consent agenda,
Then I think he needs to vote on the two that he,
have resolutions which appear on page 3.
I think he needs to
They're
vote on the
designated
two
as
that we
items
made.
1 through 14. Are there any questions about any of those resolutions?
Joe? Mr. Ratty made a motion as to two appointments that was defeated. Now, if you're going to proceed to make the appointments, you need a vote on those two
On the
appointments
other
that are listed.
All right, we will go back then, as legal counsel has pointed out. We'll go back to the alternate 1 position for the Environmental Commission, and the nominee was Thomas Quirk. May we have a motion from Mr.
So moved.
Quirk?
Second.
So moved by Mr. Faramasca, seconded by Mr. Schleifer. On roll call, Mr. Faramasca?
Yes.
Mr. Schleifer?
Yes.
Ms. Arati?
Although Len Fariello is the better candidate, in my opinion, I will vote yes.
Mr. Capola?
Yes.
And Mr. Sheridan?
No. I'm sorry. Yes. Had that reversed.
So
Sorry, Tom.
And I believe that. Now we will proceed with the second part of the consent agenda on the resolution. Any other comments on any of those resolutions? Okay, hearing none, may we have a motion on the consent agenda to approve the resolution?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Capola.
Second.
Second by Mr. Faramasca. On roll call, Mr. Faramasca.
Yes.
Mr. Schleifer.
Aye.
Ms. Arati.
Aye.
Mr. Capola.
Aye.
And Mr. Sheridan.
Aye.
So approved. At this time, I will now turn the meeting over to Mayor Sheridan on the appointments by the mayor to the planning board.
Thank you, Mr. Giorgio.
Make your objection.
Just move stand up.
We have, as an appointment, as a class, Class 4 member, J. William Byrne. As a 4-year member, Maria Florio. And as a Class 2 member, Thomas Quirk. As an alternate 1, Robert Dehan.
Yeah, well, though these are appointments by the mayor, it's been customary for the township committee to give a vote of confidence and take a vote on these appointments by the mayor. It is not necessary, but that's been the custom of the township committee.
May I make a comment? I'd like to reserve further voting on the Class 2 member. According to the municipal land use law, the Class 2 member, who is also a member of the Environmental Commission, has a 3-year term. Last year, Peter Zapp was appointed for the first time. He has 2 more years to serve. So I do not believe that this position is available for appointment. And I've conferred with our attorneys, who would either like to probably study this a little more.
Yeah, Mayor, I would ask you to hold that one appointment, because it does, Ms. Irati just brought this up to us about 10 minutes ago. It does appear to me that his term, the term of the Class 2 member is a very confusing thing in the statute. So I just ask you to hold that appointment until we get a chance to check it out in the next 10 days. Because
I don't understand that because
Because
this is a Class 2 member, and we had an opening.
I understand,
No.
I'm not sure that you
That's
do
the
have an
dispute.
opening.
Right.
The question is whether or not there is an opening, because he also is a member of the Environmental Commission. And as I understand it from Ms. Arati, his term on the Environmental Commission has not yet expired. And therefore, there may not be a vacancy. We just ask that you give us a few days to check it out statutorily.
It's my understanding that we had a resignation from the Environmental Commission.
Well, that would be
Doesn't matter.
different then. That would be different
And I
than
think
what
that's something that's being overlooked here.
Mr. Mahalko resigned from his 3-year term.
Well, I didn't think that she was talking about, I didn't think you were talking
What I'm
about.
talking about is I do not believe, according to the land use law, that Mr. Lupo's term has expired on the planning board.
Mr. Lupo's not on the planning.
Or Mr. Zapp. Mr. Zapp's term on the planning board has not expired.
He had a 1-year term, as I recall, and he serves at the pleasure of the mayor. The pleasure of the mayor is such that he is replaced
May I
by
read
Mr.
something
Quirk.
into the record? Okay, the terms of office. Except for a Class 2 member who is also a member of the Environmental Commission. The term of a Class 2 or a Class 4 member who is also a member of the Environmental Commission shall be for 3 years or terminate at the completion of his term of office as the member of the Environmental Commission, whichever occurs first. Mr. Zapp is still on the Environmental Commission. Shall be for 3 years is the shall be for 3 years. So when we appointed Mr. Zapp at the beginning of last year, his term is a 3-year term.
And that is correct. On the Environmental Commission.
No,
We're
this
speaking
is
here.
the municipal land use law, which is planning. This has nothing to do with the Environmental Commission.
Ms. Irati, the opening
Can
exists
you
on the
explain that,
planning
John?
board.
That's the
That's
dispute, that
where
the opening may
we
not
are-
exist on this planning board.
Placing Mr. Quirk. An opening occurs on the Environmental Commission as a result of the resignation of a member. And we are inserting Mr. Quirk in that position as required by the planning board's policies and rules that a member of the planning board must also be on the Environmental Commission.